Alright, it's recording. So today I was going to make a video on the military press, doing the barbell military press, and I was doing a warm-up set and I felt really fatigued in my shoulders, and that was mainly because I'd say over the past while I've been doing a lot of more volume on my shoulders. Yesterday I was in CrossFit and there was a lot of shoulder dominated movements, dumbbell strict press overhead. There was a salt bike for calories. I think I did 70 calories within 12 minutes. That was alongside more shoulder based exercises as well. It was part of a WOD, and of course when you're rowing the assault bike, it's actually very heavy on the shoulders. I'm more thinking so of I suppose the quads are nearly shocked from that, but I suppose it is full body movement. But besides the point anyway, today I wanted to get on to point of auto-regulation and recovery in general, and basically feeling your body. So this is the thing I push with a lot of clients, is to promote to actually recognize your body signals that's given you in terms of training, and not to just push through your programming ignorantly just to hit certain numbers. So this would have been very much so when I was doing my progressive overloads in terms of my upper body lower body split, and I would do 2 days on, 1 day off. So I would do upper body lower body, and then 1 day off, upper body lower body on 1 day off, continuously, just without rest. And especially with lockdowns, that's obviously facilitated it a lot because I didn't have anything else to be at, so it was just prioritizing that. And in that time I actually became really familiar with being able to read my body. Some days I would go in, just for example today with the overhead press, the military press, I realised, like, on the first set, my warm-up set, I usually do for a working set 3 sets of 12 at 50 kilos, and today I was just doing my warm-up at 30 kilos and it felt so heavy, really heavy. And it's when you kind of go into the gym those days, or into doing your program or whatever it may be, and if you feel that your warm-up set, or just not even if you're on your working set already, and it's just feeling you just don't have that same pop to your exercise, then it's probably best to just actually take down the volume a bit, take down the weight a bit if you want, or leave the exercise altogether. And I feel this would be useful just to even make a video log of it, because it is so common to, I suppose, especially when you're goal driven, you want to be able to hit certain markers. You see the formula in front of you. You might have to do in my case, again, for example, I'm doing the 3 sets of 12 at 50 kilos, and I see that has to be done because I want to keep the progressive overload. I said I want to move up in a few weeks, obviously 52.5 kilos, so that extra bit anyway. And I have to keep doing the same volume, I have to keep doing the same reps and sets. I can't pull back on it. When you're locked into a program like that, it can obviously be good for you to be pushing your potential, but there's a law of diminishing returns, and whether that's actually necessary at different times. So removing the ego of it, very much so, in terms of if you're ignorantly pushing through something and your body isn't feeling it, and then you're going to be jacked up, your shoulders are going to be fried. Say in my case, if I just ignorantly try to do that today, I might have been able to get to 3 sets of 12. Like, I'm definitely feeling a bit of fatigue, but I could have probably pushed for it. And the taxing that puts on my body in terms of recovery over the next few days is going to be maybe detrimental in setting me back, or even possible injury as well, and things like that. You have to take into account, obviously, into your own training, that if you're going to be doing any exercise and you're just feeling that bit more fatigued, use auto-regulation and read your body and be more familiar with how you're actually feeling. And I would always do that. Say I would actually go to the gym and do your warm-up set, know what your warm-up set is, know what your working set is, and read it off your warm-up, because a lot of people say, I've had, say, clients come to me that are like, I just didn't feel good at work today, but so I skipped gym altogether. And I don't think that's the right approach necessarily as well. Like, some days, unless you're actually ill or sick, obviously you can take the rest day then. But if you just are not feeling it for whatever reason, like there's days I've not been feeling that, and then I'd go into the gym and I'd push out like really heavy sets, heavier than usual. You really don't know until you put rubber to road and actually make contact with what you're doing, because you might not be feeling it mentally, but you do a set or two in any given exercise and you feel great after it. And that can always happen when you're willing to push yourself persistently to actually go to the gym and make the initial effort, and then you can read your body thereafter. As I say, so long as you're not actually ill or anything, as long as you're just, if you think it's just like a mental battle, that you're like, oh, I just feel a bit lethargic today, I feel a bit lazy or whatever, I would always go to the gym first and then get your first set or two out of the way and then read your body from there. So that was in the case of me doing the auto-regulation today. I would advise doing that just when you feel your body. Like, a lot of people say it can be bullshit or hard to read your body, because it's it's a bit of an arbitrary thing to put. It's not empirical data. It's not giving you exact figures or anything to go off of. It's very much how you feel. But say, like, I would always push for, say, in terms of progressive overload, you want to be leaving 2 or 3 reps left in reserve, working at a rate of perceived exertion of around 7 or 8, to consistently push yourself hard enough essentially to stimulate the muscles to grow. In terms of, if you're trying to apply progressive overload for strength, for hypertrophy, any of those styles of training, you would want to be doing that. And if you're going in within your, say, as again my example, I'm going, say, 3 sets of 12 at the military press for 50 kilos, and I'm feeling my warm-up set's done and I'm doing the first set of 50 kilos and I'm feeling around the 7 to 8 rep, I'm like, this is, I'm probably about 1 or 2 more reps left in the tank. Then I call it at that. It's healthy to remove the ego and actually just be like, okay, well, this is my limit for today. I'm actually going to knock off a bit of weight on the next lift, or I'm going to leave it all together, or I'm going to just bring down the volume somewhat so that it can be maintained. I can do a bit of work today, but I'm not going to absolutely kill myself in terms of the amount of work that's going to be doing, and it's going to be detrimental to my recovery, and then it could even set me back, or I could even be injured after it. So it's things like that you have to take into account and use your recovery wisely. I would focus more so on recovery. So today I'm going to be doing more band work. I'm going to be just getting a bit of blood flow into the shoulders just to warm them up that bit more, but not actually stress them in terms of putting them through the ringer, in keeping up with my regular training regime, and being that bit more conscious. And it's only really as time going on now, this is the first time I've had to switch things up properly, say, in terms of I'm going to CrossFit 3 times a week. When I go into CrossFit, I don't know what I'll be working, so I could be working any major muscle groups in my body going into CrossFit on the day. So I'm trying to balance out, my programming and thinking of opposing muscle groups that I haven't been worked, and then trying to balance all of those out. And find that healthy balance of stimulating muscles 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm not sure if I'll keep the progressive overload for now. I think I'll try to be maintaining, because I might cut back a bit in terms of weight. Weighed in at 79 kilos this morning and enjoying that bit of a calorie deficit. It's just feel that bit leaner as well. It's less stress in the joints because my ankles are shocked right now. I feel it's a lot with the Gaelic training. Obviously it's the first week back and everything, but at the same time I would want to veer on the side of caution in terms of the volume I'm putting on my body, because I would rather not be injured and have a setback, and then I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing now. So it's just kind of, as I say, using auto-regulation as a form of recovery. Figure out what your body is able for, and be honest with yourself as well. A lot of people, as I say, you can get, I've had clients that come to me and they'll just say they're feeling lazy today and they skip the workout. I'm like, did you at least try? You have to at least give it a shot and then see how your body responds to it, because you really don't know until you actually are in there and actively working your body. Because you might feel great after the first 5 minutes and then you'll be like, okay, it would have been a wasted day if I had just said I felt lazy today and didn't put in the work. So it's a lot to factor in, and you get more competent and aware of how your body responds to volume over time, and you'll become better at it. I've just been doing it for over, I don't know how many years now, that you just become that much more in tune now at how your body's responding to it, and you'll get better at it over time. But yeah, I don't want to ramble on too much. I just kind of wanted to keep this one short today, just to keep a bit of a note on a vlog. And then auto-regulation is something I wanted to talk about, because it's something I'm being more conscious of. And there's a lot of features I'm being features and aspects of my training and diet and everything in general. since I've actually had to start vlogging it, I'm being much more conscious of it, and hopefully making value for myself. But if anyone else gets value off it, as I say, that's brilliant too. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll catch you in the next video.